Welcome to the deep dive. We take source material, we dig in, and hopefully uncover some fascinating insights for you. Today we're diving into something pretty unique, a collection of stories, really amazing personal accounts and historical details, all about some remarkable people and, well, profound spiritual wisdom.
That's right. We've got these extraordinary narratives focusing on a revered figure, Luang Pu, and his key disciples. Our mission here is to kind of connect the dots for you, look at the cause and effect woven through these lives, and really pull out those nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, we'll explore how past actions echo through lives, how people overcame just immense suffering to reach, deep spiritual states, and even touch on some abilities that are, frankly, pretty mind-bending. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, we have Khun Yai Thongsuk Samdaengpan, her early life. It's almost hard to believe. We're talking serious wealth.
Seriously wealthy. Imagine gold literally stored in baskets, silver in bushels, even things like alms bowls made of pure gold. It's quite the picture.
Yeah, born to royalty on one side, a rich merchant father in the other, just immense privilege.
But what's really striking is how fast it all vanished.
Right. She was only 5 years old. Both parents died.
And relatives just swooped in, took everything.
Emptied the house. Left her with absolutely nothing. 1 minute luxury, the next total hardship. Bounced between relatives, exploited, couldn't even complain.
And this leads to a really dark moment. She was so low, so full of despair, she actually thought about ending her life. Wow. But then this small thing happens. An aunt's child gives her a single bat, like almost nothing, but also warns her, tells her about the terrible karma, the consequences of suicide, and that pulled her back. Really makes you think, doesn't it? How these tiny little acts of kindness, or maybe just a word of warning, can totally change a person's path. It's like planting a seed, a seed of merit.
A definite turning point. But her life didn't magically get easy. Still a struggle. She got married, had 2 kids, but then her husband, a surgeon, also died, left her penniless again.
The hospital director helped a bit, but it wasn't nearly enough.
So she ended up selling coconuts, just to get by.
And it's then, as a coconut vendor, struggling, that she meets Luang Pu.
Right. She goes to him basically crying about how poor she is, and his response is, well, it's blunt.
Very. He just says, he didn't make you do this.
Which sounds almost dismissive at first glance.
Exactly. But it wasn't. It was hinting, at his deep insight. He saw her past lives, her real purpose. He was saying her suffering wasn't just random bad luck. It was tied to something deeper. Past causes.
So she starts practicing meditation really seriously with Luang Pu.
Diligently. But here's the thing, she gets stuck. Really stuck.
Yeah, everyone else in her class seems to be getting somewhere, achieving Dhamma, this kind of profound realization.
Like enlightenment, yeah.
Yeah.
But not her. She just felt weighed down, like her past mistakes, her sins, were this huge barrier.
This frustration, though, it actually leads to her breakthrough. It's a strange story.
It really is. She's feeling so bad about herself, she starts furiously scrubbing all the spittoons at the temple, Wat Paknam, just scrubbing and muttering about how defiled she felt.
Kind of an act of desperation, maybe?
Sort of. But in that moment, scrubbing away in the pouring rain, her mind somehow became intensely focused, really calm and peaceful. And you knew when it happened.
She experienced Dung Sai Sai, this clear, bright orb appearing inside her.
And then Omphra, seeing a Buddha image within herself. Not just imagining it, but a real, tangible spiritual event.
I mean, imagine that. It was so overwhelming. The sources say she was actually afraid to eat afterwards.
Yeah, worried the food might somehow fall onto this inner Buddha image.
Her teacher told her, look, you need to stay here at the temple, solidify this attainment, even though she had 2 young kids at home.
A huge choice.
And she chose the Dhamma. She stayed, made sure that realization was stable, complete. That just shows the incredible conviction, the certainty that came from that experience. It completely reordered her life.
Absolutely. And after that, after solidifying it and later ordaining as a Machi, a Buddhist nun, she became a master of advanced Dhamma.
Including these deep meditative states. John?
Right. Charan, these specific levels of deep absorption, they allow access to really profound states of consciousness, subtle realities. She was incredibly dedicated. Luang Pu would suggest something new, maybe experimental.
And she'd be the first to volunteer.
Always. Like this gender transformation practice mentioned in the sources.
Right, that one's pretty wild.
Luang Pu taught a method purely meditative. No surgery to change one's inner gender identity or maybe the karmic conditioning tied to gender. Just by sitting still in deep meditation.
And Khun Yai Thongsuk was the only one who dared try it.
She tried it for one night, found it annoying, her word, and just decided to turn the engine back.
Huh. Such a casual way to describe exploring something so profound. It really shows her fearlessness, doesn't it? And her level of control over these inner states.
Absolutely.
Oh.
But maybe even more astounding was her ability to perform jantakat, moon eclipses.
An extinguished star.
Yeah, the sources say Luang Pu might just muse aloud. Wonder if someone could do that. And she was the only one who actually succeeded. Took her 2 days for the moon eclipse, apparently.
Okay, but extinguishing stars, that just sounds... Why? Why would anyone do that? What's the point?
It sounds bizarre, I know.
Yeah.
But connecting it to the wider spiritual view in the sources, they explain that some stars aren't just balls of gas in the sky. From a higher spiritual vantage point, some act like, well, power stations, transmitting negative karmic energy, these streams of demerit.
Okay.
These currents, supposedly sent by beings called Phaya Mara, think of them as spiritual obstacles or negative forces. These currents manifest on Earth as big problems. Droughts, wars, diseases, economic crashes, widespread suffering.
So Luang Pu saw this connection.
With his clairvoyance, yes, he saw the link. And he taught how to deal with it, not by attacking the symptoms, but by going to the spiritual root cause, identifying that negative power station star and neutralizing it using advanced meditation.
And the result they described.
When that spiritual source of negativity was cut off, the light of that corresponding star would just vanish from the sky.
Wow. So not just theory, but a claimed practical application to reduce suffering on a large scale.
That's how it's presented. And Khun Yai Thongsuk wasn't just powerful in meditation, she also became Luang Pu's #1 Dhamma spreader, his most effective teacher out in the world.
Even though she faced huge hurdles.
Huge. Luang Pu used this rather pointed analogy. He said male monks, even highly educated ones who weren't effectively spreading the teachings, were like roosters that had stopped crowing. Silent.
Okay.
And laywomen, like Mai Chi, he compared to ducks, usually seen as less authoritative, unable to crow as loudly in that society.
But Khun Yai Thongsuk, she wasn't just any duck.
No, he called her a crystal duck. Special. She traveled everywhere, all across the country, spreading Dhamma.
With almost nothing, just a wicker bag, a torn mosquito net, barely any money.
And she had to fight against the perception that Mai Chi were just beggars.
It sounds incredibly tough. Does she ever hesitate?
She did. At one point, she worried she was falling behind in her own meditation studies by traveling so much.
Understandable.
But Luang Pu patiently encouraged her. For 3 months, he explained the immense merit, the spiritual importance of her mission. It shows his way wasn't forced obedience, but careful nurturing of volunteers, helping them see the value.
He even tested her, didn't he? Asked if she might be tempted by handsome or rich men on her travels.
He did, and her answer was powerful. Something like, if I can't fight off those temptations, I'd rather die.
Oh.
Just absolute dedication.
Unwavering.
And another fascinating point, she was the one who found and first taught Machi Kunyai Ajaran Maharatana Ubashika Yan Konokyung. She brought her to Luang Pu.
Ah, the other key disciple.
Exactly. And their very first meeting with Luang Pu is so revealing. Remember, Khun Yai Thongsuk was told, he didn't make you do this?
Yes.
Well, Khun Yai Ajaran on that same first meeting was told, you came too late.
Whoa. Straight away.
Instantly. It shows Luang Pu's immediate, deep insight into their individual karma, their spiritual paths, their pasts, their potential. Just knew it on sight.
These stories also really hammer home the workings of karma, don't they? Often in unexpected ways.
Absolutely. Look at Khun Yai Thongsuk herself. Despite her incredible spiritual achievements, she still suffered from cervical cancer and died relatively young, just over 60.
And the reason given.
The sources link it directly to karma from past lives, where she'd been born male and lived as a playboy, specifically mentioning that life as the wealthy merchant's son.
So even with her Dhamma power, she couldn't just erase it.
She tried to use her insights, her abilities, to heal herself. But the karmic debt, the weight of those past actions was just too strong in this instance. It limited her lifespan. It shows that merit helps you manage karma, gives you wisdom, but doesn't always just delete the consequences instantly.
It's about navigating it, not escaping it entirely.
Precisely. Then there's the story of Luang Pu's niece, a really cautionary tale.
She was ordained young, achieved Dhamma, even had Wicca, these spiritual powers.
Yes, highly attained for her age. But then, as a young woman, she secretly left the temple.
Against Luang Pu's direct warning. He told her not to go, that she'd face terrible hardship.
He did, and she ignored him. The sources say she married a poor, disabled iron welder, lived in extreme poverty, had to sell tamarind to survive, and eventually went blind.
And she regretted it.
Deeply. She openly said she wished she'd listened, blaming her defiance on Mara's interference, those spiritual obstacles messing with her judgment. It really highlights the importance of heeding guidance from someone enlightened, and the real risks of straying from the past, even if you've reached high levels.
Then you have Uncle Priyun Santara, Luang Pu's finance manager for 30 years.
A model of integrity. Absolutely honest, worked tirelessly, sometimes staying up all night balancing the books, just pure dedication.
And his path.
Well, because he was so committed to his work, he actually only attained Dhammakaya, that core inner realization later in life when his duties lessened.
So his work sort of delayed his meditation progress.
In a way. But the immense merit he built through his honest, diligent service ensured that once he had the time, his attainment came easily. And that specific good karma honesty as a treasurer guaranteed him wealth, good looks, and spiritual progress across many future lives. It shows how ethical actions bear specific fruits.
And Aunt U, Luang Pu's sister-in-law.
Ah, yes, the devout almsgiver. She got incredibly sick, a terrible abdominal abscess, extremely painful. She was on a boat, heading for surgery, convinced she was going to die.
What did she do?
She started meditating, focusing on the mantra, Sama Arahang.
And then...
She had this vision. Luang Pu appeared right there beside her, waved his hand, and the pain just vanished instantly.
Wow.
And that relief lasted all the way until she got to the hospital. It's presented as an example of pure faith connecting with the power of an enlightened master. Her illness, by the way, was linked to past karma from killing animals for food. Again, that specific cause and effect.
Maybe the most direct karmic story, though, is the one about the narrator themselves.
Yes. Suffering from a slipped disc, having to crawl for 3 months. Excruciating.
And the cause wasn't recent injury, according to the insight gained.
No. It was traced back to a specific past life. The narrator had been a beautiful, wealthy princess who got annoyed with a servant who kept disappearing.
And what did she do?
Out of irritation, she repeatedly chained that servant up for 3 months.
3 months of chaining leading to 3 months of crawling.
Exactly. A startlingly direct and precise karmic echo. Specific negative action leading to a specific physical ailment later. It really poses a question for all of us, doesn't it? You listen to that and think, what small things am I doing now, maybe just out of annoyance or impatience, that could create ripples, unpleasant ones, in my own future?
Definitely food for thought. Our deep dive also touched on Wat Song Painong, the temple where Luang Pu first ordained. Sounds like a place with some real history and maybe some inhabitants.
Oh yes, steeped in ancient mysteries, according to these accounts, including Prius ghosts.
Not just any ghosts, though.
No. Some were apparently former monks from that temple. Monks who hadn't kept their rules well got attached to temple property or offerings, and ended up as these tall, gaunt, perpetually hungry spirits still guarding the place.
Wow. Talk about attachment.
And there were others too. Lay people who'd stolen from the temple in the past also stuck there as pretests. Direct consequences again.
And then there's the story about the treasure. That's wild.
Isn't it? One day there's this loud rumbling sound. The temple floor actually sinks, the roof tilts, and the abbot at the time, Wang Cornian, announces that a chela boat, a kind of old flat-bottomed boat filled with gold, just moved out from underneath the temple building.
Moved underground.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And the sources insist this treasure is real. Ancient gold, silver, gems, valuable artifacts from way back when the nearby canal was a big river.
But the treasure moves. How does that even work?
This is the really fascinating part. The explanation given is that the detailed bodies, the subtle energetic bodies, the kaya light of the people who originally hoarded that wealth, who were deeply attached to it in past lives, they are still bound to it.
Still connected, even after death.
Yes. And their lingering attachment, their clinging, literally causes them to drag the physical treasure with them across the land, underground. It's a profound illustration of how deep attachment can manifest, physically influencing things even lifetimes later.
It paints such a vivid picture of these ongoing connections, doesn't it? Especially between Luang Pu, Khun Yai Thongsuk, and Khun Yai Thongsuk.
Absolutely. This wasn't just a one-lifetime alliance. The sources emphasize they've been working together, creating merit together, doing this Mara-suppressing Dhamma work, battling spiritual obstacles across countless lives.
They even initiated that special practice, Bucha Kalfra, offering rice to the Buddha.
That's right. And it wasn't something they just invented. It was a practice they rediscovered through their deep meditation, their Dhamma insight, something they realized they had done together many, many times before in previous existences. It shows how these powerful spiritual methods can be found again, brought back, and taught by those who reach high attainment.
And when beings like this pass away, it's described very differently from an ordinary death.
Very differently. Luang Pu's passing, his return to the spiritual realms, is described as special, dignified, glorious. He was met and invited by countless, incredibly powerful, highly meritorious beings.
Like a grand reception.
Exactly. And similarly for Khun Yai Thongsuk and Khun Yai Thongsuk. Their departures were also marked by the arrival of dense gatherings of these powerful, meritorious beings, appropriate to their own levels of attainment, of course. It suggests death for them isn't an end, but a transition to another level of existence and work.
So where are they now, according to these sources?
They're described as being Samana Theva Butra, monk devas, radiant, majestic beings like divine monks.
And they're still active.
Very much so. Engaged in that same Mara-suppressing Dhamma work, but now within the Vimana celestial palaces, alongside other great enlightened beings, the Mahasamana Theva Butra.
Constantly working then.
Constantly immersed in what's called a sea of merit, flowing from the pure Dhamma realm. And the idea is, when people on earth make merit, when you make merit and dedicate it or offer homage to them, your intention forms a connection.
A spiritual link?
Yes. And through that link, a stream of that immense merit from the Dhamma realm can flow back to you, bringing blessings into your life. It's described as a very real, active connection. And their ultimate goal, the sources say, helping all beings reach nirvana that will finally be achieved when the Dhamma is fully realized everywhere.
Wow. Okay. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the absolute depths of despair and suffering,
All the way to these incredible heights of spiritual power, and this really intricate, sometimes startling picture of how karma works.
We've seen how actions from lifetimes ago can literally shape your body and experiences today, and how dedicated spiritual practice can unlock abilities that, sound like science fiction almost.
We really saw the power of sticking with it, didn't we? Perseverance, and how vital good guidance is, and the real, tangible impact of making merit, of ethical action. When you connect these old teachings to our lives now, it really pushes you to think long-term, the really long-term.
Exactly. So after hearing all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? I mean, if these masters spent lifetimes grappling with the universe's deepest principles, setting goals like understanding how to transcend all realms of existence.
Immense goals.
Right. Then what kind of questions are we asking ourselves about our own lives? Knowing this potential, this long arc of cause and effect, what are the biggest, most meaningful goals you were setting for your own journey? Something to maybe mull over until our next deep dive.